Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I think I fixed it. It is. There's a still slight delay with the timing, but it is better than it was, so that's
It
good.
was better.
Yeah, no, okay, it was, but I just watched the replay on Kick. Good morning, everyone. GM to all the Bears out there. Sorry, all the Bulls have left the room. The Bulls should have left the room way back in 2025 when we spoke about it. So GM to all the Bears, Craig. How did you? How are you, mate? How are you this fine Wednesday morning?
Yeah, dude, I'm good. Thank you. Jim Greeny. Hello, chat. Hello, mates. Yeah, I'm good, dude. I've got my sister-in-law coming around later. She's got a new puppy, man. So that's going to be cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, going to bring a new puppy around. So we'll see how my dog reacts to that. That'll be a fun day with my dog trying to
Yeah,
destroy that dog. So
yeah.
yeah, I've got a nice day coming up. That'll be fun to spend it with a puppy while the market's dumping. Hey, you need what's it called? Those dogs, a therapy dog to
Yeah,
pat
yeah,
when you're down.
yeah, yeah.
So I've got a therapy dog arriving in the next 3 hours to pat.
What breed? What breed?
Oh man, I can't remember. It's like a fox-looking thing though. It looks crazy. Is it a Shih Tzu, Japanese Shih Tzu, or
Oh,
something?
yeah, that makes sense. Yep,
It's a
yep.
crazy,
Nice,
cute little dog, dude. It looks. I don't have a photo. Damn it, I can't share it. I'll share it on
nice.
the timeline, guys. Get ready for some cuteness. This thing's crazy looking, but yeah, my dog, who's a little like husky looking thing's gonna love that, man. So that'll be a good day. But yeah, dude, woke up to what you have on the screen there, man. Yeah, looks good, huh?
Yeah, looks good. Hey, like we've been saying for a while, lower before higher, lower before higher. That's been our theme for many months now, and we have prepared you all. So if you are new here, and shout out to the two new followers straight away here on Kick, Winter and Auto. If you guys are new here, we've been doing this live every single day for literally about a year and a half or longer now. And we gave it to you real. Unfortunately, a lot of people out there don't give it to you real, and I hope you guys appreciate that. So yeah, look, we hit 73K or just below 73K overnight. Unfortunately, yet again, Craig, my buy order at 72.5 got front run. So hopefully we dump lower in the coming days again. A lot of people maybe don't want to hear that, but as always, a big theme in GTG that we talk about is actually protecting downside risk is arguably more important than taking profit. So I was trading some memes yesterday. They looked okay, but Bitcoin hitting new lows overnight, Solana not looking good. I've decided to de-risk those positions because it's just not. It's as I said yesterday, it's just not the market to conducively trade, Craig. Like if Solana's going down, USD is going down against AUD, and the meme coin's going down, it's like you're like lighting money on fire. You should literally just put it all away and not touch it until later this year, in my opinion. Probably even 2027. We'll have to wait and see. So we got a lot of topics I want to talk about today. Obviously, some closer to home with Australia rates increasing yesterday. So I can't wait to talk about that. Bitcoin hitting new lows. We've got a few news topics around prediction markets. And Trump and gold volatility. But then we decided that we haven't looked at a few meme coin and altcoin charts for a while. So we'll be pulling up random charts later in the episode. So if you want to see us break down a specific chart, whether it's Pengu, whether it's Avalanche, whether it's Sui, whether it's Pepe, whether it's SBX, whether it's Link, whatever it is, comment it in the channel, guys. Comment it in the chat, and we can take a look at those charts later in the show. But as always, check out OKX, guys, down below. You can sign up and get $75 for free, I think, once you do $500 of volume, guys. I've been buying spot on there. I know Cappy just joined OKX. He said he loves the UI and he says he loves the fees. It's literally one of the cheapest exchanges for spot fees too. So I highly recommend it, guys. And again, I've done my research. I use it for onboarding, offboarding, and I also have been buying on there because it is definitely cheap and it's got good liquidity and it's got great security. So yeah, whilst we're partnered with them, I actually do highly recommend it. Is kind of the vision that I suggest. So Craig, look, what was the first thing you thought this morning when you saw sub 73 Bitcoin? Now it's obviously back at 75 now, but what did you think this morning?
Yeah, I didn't think a lot other than just we're going lower. So for me, that just again broke structure to the downside. So for me, it just indicates where the market wants to go. Wants to go lower. So obviously, it dumps. People then buy. It's a discount. People buy. You get a little complacency bounce. I think it's who was it that gave an analogy yesterday? I was listening to Anthony. What's it? Pompeo? How do you say his name?
I'm not sure.
Big Bitcoin guy. He's been around for ages.
Your algo must be different to my algo.
Yeah. Can't remember his bloody name, but he was talking yesterday how thinks we're in a bear market. And he was giving an analogy how it's like a football bouncing down the stairs. It bounces, it falls down, bounces a little bit, then falls down, and
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
much.
it's the
Just
trend,
like
right?
that. Just like that.
Exactly. The trend is your friend until it changes, and that's the theme that I've really suggested. Is like longing. Like you really shouldn't be looking for longs at this stage. Even though I did try and long yesterday, I got stopped out, dude. Really annoyingly, I got stopped out on Pump Fun, and then it pumped like literally 7% later, and then it's now back down. So it's like literally like it really, unless you're like a pro trader and you actively are watching the charts like probably nearly 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's really not a market to be probably looking for longs at all unless you're very active, as I said, and probably scalp trading on low timeframes.
Yeah.
It's very much your bias is short / price is going down. So protect capital or have a short bias if we pump up to certain levels. Like we didn't even get above 78 or 79K, Craig, and we hit 72K overnight. So look, there's just a lot of weakness out there. Hyperliquid back down below $34 as well. So we'll be taking a look at a few different charts later in the show, as I said. Other big news, a little bit closer to home. And I read a post again from a fellow trader in the space who we both know, David Bird, who's ASX trader on Twitter. Great guy, and a fellow educator. He was a teacher before. He's now a great trader across. He called silver and gold like years ago before they pumped. He's very good with uranium and copper and stuff like that as well. So he's very good trader like outside of crypto. Whereas I would say like we trade more crypto in-house, right? So it's a great guy to follow because he just gives me insight and a different perspective, and obviously confluence as well. But anyway, he came out and said this might not be the first time that we see rate increases for a while. He thinks like potentially 1% to 3% completely over the course of the next couple of years. And when you consider, Craig, one of the people you like to follow, Jason Pizzino, he loves to talk about the 18-year property cycle as well. And so really interestingly, the US is very different to Australia, but Australia is following a very similar path to what Canada has already gone through, where immigration is very high. It puts a lot of pressure on supply and demand, but then eventually rates have to catch up to inflation. Cost of living is still expensive, and therefore house prices have to either come down because they're one, unaffordable, and two, banks don't allow as much lending as they did before because rates are too high, right? So I'd love to get your take on this as a homeowner. And I'm someone who has been very much learning all of this over the past probably 2 months because we're looking to maybe buy a home. How does this make you feel about maybe the 18-year property cycle with Bitcoin dumping, with gold and silver dumping? Is the bubble of 2026 gonna pop? And we're in for a brutal bear market wide over the next maybe 6 to 12 months, maybe even 2 years. Who knows? What do you think?
Yes, I think yes. I think it's all. I think it's all going to come crashing down. I think property will pull back. I still think it will. Everything's cyclic, so I don't know. Crash is probably a strong word, but pull back. Things are going to pull back. How much it pulls back, I don't know. For risk on assets like Bitcoin and cryptos, if property pulls back, people are going to sell if they need cash.
Yeah.
If they need cash to cover the debt that they have or the increase in their mortgage rates, they're going to have to find the money from somewhere. So what's the first thing you're going to sell, right? You'd sell your crypto, I would. That's
the end of the risk curve or the easy stuff that gets straight back into your bank, right? Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, I saw a post yesterday on Twitter, someone was talking about try and sell a lot of gold. And they were saying it's hard, right? It's hard to sell a lot of gold. And even though gold's pumping, you still have to sell about 30% under market if you're selling a lot of it. And it can take a week to come into your account. So it's slow to get the money back.
On that topic, did you see in Sydney, there was a line of about 50 people lining up at a gold bullion to try and sell. And it was was inundated. Again, this is why I like to trade ETFs, right? Because it's just in and out, and it still reflects the price, obviously. Or gold miners, for example, outperformed gold itself, but in and out, and then it's straight back in my bank account.
Way better. No, so I think as a homeowner, you don't want to see rates go up, really. Now, what was did they give their reasoning for the raise? Was it just
inflation's still high? Yeah, inflation's still high. Yeah.
So they're trying to cool the market down. I think not a bad thing, personally.
First time in 2 years.
Yeah, even though I'm a homeowner and it affects me, I think it's probably a good thing. But look, it's a bit above my pay level, all this stuff still. I'm still learning a lot about all this.
Yeah.
But if inflation's high, I guess this is one of the mechanics they use to try and rein it in, and probably not a bad thing, man, because inflation is high. Like you can
Yeah.
tell, even if the numbers they give, they're like inflation's only this. It's like, man, my grocery bill's not
Your
reflecting
grocery bills, your bills for dog grooming, your car
everything.
repayments, not repayment, insurance, like your car
Insurance is through the roof.
service.
Just paid that. That costs heaps, man. Car and
Yeah.
house insurance was ridiculous. About 6K this I got to pay, I think, this month for all that.
For your
Five-
house or for
house
both?
is about 3.5, two to
20.
2.5,
Oh,
2.5 to 3.5
Okay.
for home
Yeah,
for contents, home and contents insurance. Obviously, more home insurance because if you've got a mortgage like me, you have to have it, which
yes.
makes sense, right? Because if it burns down, the bank wants their money. So it's expensive. Car insurance is expensive. That's about 1,500, and that's like scouring for deals.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, stuff's really expensive. So to answer your question, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of stuff pull back, and that's just why I'm not worried, but I think the price of things could go lower than we think, because when
I
the
agree.
squeeze comes, when push comes to shove, like you just look at, things that are similar to 2008, like some banks now in America starting to close. I think we're getting the early clues of what's coming. And unfortunately, if you follow the real estate cycle, like I have over the last listening to Jason Vizino for a while, I've been waiting for this for maybe about 3 years since I've been following him, and it looks like it might be happening. So curious to see.
What does he say? Like, as someone like me who is obviously looking to buy a house, it's probably like my mate just recently became a real estate agent, and he's like, stop, like, don't go up from your bids. Like, put your bid in where you think it's worth and just stick with it. And if his work this year will be more around talking to the homeowners and the sellers, the vendors, about no, we're in a different market now. It's the first time we've seen rates increase in 2+ years. We could get more rate increases this year, if not in future years. Your expectations of where the market has been over the past few years is unrealistic.
Mhm.
If you actually want to sell, you're going to have to come down and meet where the demand actually is. So it's a tough one, Craig, for me. Like, now I'm like, well, shit, like, do you wait? Like, yeah, do we wait? Like, do we keep renting? But say my rent goes up to like $900 a week. I'm like, I could probably try and find a mortgage for maybe $1,300 a week, right? And then that's your asset, right? So it's a weird one for me. It's like, but then you're like moving into a shittier house where you might not be as happy. You might be looking to upsize eventually too. It's a tough environment for me right now to consider, like, what the best strategic approach is to markets in general and property right now.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be buying because you're buying. The market's been hot for a long time, but the market's just been hot for 20 years. Are you buying the tippy top? Maybe, but you're buying the tippy top for now.
Yeah.
Just like I was buying the top when I bought my house 10 years ago. I bought the top too, where everyone's bought the top until it's not the top.
And that's the thing. Like, everyone in Australia has even my dad's a builder, and he's what, 60 nearly. Over the past 40 years, property has only ever gone up, right? So in their minds, in property investors, you see all these guys on Instagram reels, like, it's literally like borrow debt, recycle the debt, buy another property, borrow debt, recycle the debt. Like, eventually that over leverage will F you up. Like, there will come a time where we go through a brutal bear market. Is it going to happen in our lifetime? Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe yes. You look at, like, I think about, I don't have a kid, but if we have a kid in 20 years' time, how on earth are they going to afford things? If salaries don't like support it, if properties keep going up with this supply demand and all these things, it's fascinating, Craig. Fascinating. But enough about that. President Trump signs bills officially ending the US government shutdown. Very interesting. What do we thought? What do we think? That's probably a good thing. Probably a good thing, because markets would have probably dumped even further if it was shut down.
Yeah, that is a good thing. Do we know what bill?
No, I assume just a bill. The dollar's worth. Yeah,
I know.
That is a great visual, actually. That is a great visual. Oh, Craig's gone. Oh, he's back.
I
He's
don't
back.
know what's going
That
on.
was weird.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know what's happening.
It's great visual. I mean, this is 6 years old too, and it's probably worth even less now. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, good to see the shutdown. No, not sure if it was just a specific bill for this event. I would assume so. Interesting. Phantom says, of course, they open up right before tax season. I'm not sure, like US tax season or what. I'm not sure. But anyways, that's news overnight. Jupiter brings Polymarket to Solana. Now, this is pretty bullish news. It allows like someone like me, or actually I haven't looked into this, but like Polymarket is banned in Australia. Like you can't use it unless you run a VPN. Something like this could be very interesting because if it's on Jupiter, you can use Jupiter in Australia. So does that like kind of bypass the whole VPN nature of Polymarket? I'm not sure. Like, but what do you think here, Craig? 35 million strategic investment in Jupiter, extended lockup. Jupiter is becoming huge. It is becoming huge. You can trade perps on there. You can trade. I saw something this morning. You can trade like gold and silver on there now too. Plus, they're bringing prediction. Like Jupiter is maybe trying to do what Hyperliquid is kind of doing. I would say. Thoughts?
Yeah, totally agree. They look like they want to be the one-stop shop. Pretty bullish on that, actually. Like that's just another tick in their boxes, another feather in their cap. Looks like they want everything on there.
Yes.
Which, yeah, I'm super bullish. I think this stuff's great, even though prices are pulling back and the market looks pretty bleak. There's still plenty of news headlines that are bullish, and eventually all this momentum and good news will reflect in price. Unfortunately, it's just going to be later, I think. But no, super bullish. I think Jupiter's doing great stuff. Maybe this isn't a bad buy in the future. I don't know. Maybe this is a bear market buy. Maybe
it could be a bear market buy. I think it could be a bear market buy. I'm not really bullish on the chart, Levi. It's like it looks like it could have a little bit of a breakout here, but same again with pressure from majors, your bear trend. Like this is a bear trend that it hasn't found a bottom. Like the key here is that it hasn't found a bottom. This is still lower lows, right? That's still a lower low to there. So like structure is still very much to the downside. Even if it pumps up here, it could do something like this, right? So you might get a swing trade in the short term, but if Bitcoin keeps going like keep making new lows, then stuff like this is going to greatly suffer. Like even look at Hyperliquid, and we'll look at more charts later. Like Hyperliquid hit, what did I say? Like 38? Yeah, I thought it might get up to potentially 40, but it didn't quite get there. But it's dumped back below 34 this morning, Craig. So even something really bullish like that. Pump as well, the one that I was in. It came down, stopped out. Oh my gosh, I got so many fibs on here. Came down, stopped out, and then just literally is coming back down now. So like came down, stopped me out, and then went crazy and then dumped back below. So market is very volatile at the moment. And unfortunately, bullish news like this. And the interesting part about this is a theme that I've really noticed since ETFs have been approved in crypto is news that used to really like price creates narratives, right? News just fast tracks price in that narrative, right? So for example, if we're bearish and you get bearish news, then the price is already bearish. It just fast tracks that bearish price action happening. Same on the contrary side in bullish market conditions. Your price will show you that you're bullish. It might just be a little bit of a breakout, but then you get some news like the ETFs back in 2024 in March. And sure enough, we front run the all-time high pre-halving, right? So news comes after the fact and often maybe fast tracks what price is already showing you. And what I've noticed over the past couple of years is that news doesn't really change too much, Craig. Like arguably Hyperliquid more recently, we did see like the HIP absolutely dominating. They had $750 million of revenue or something. And that was like a very bullish catalyst. And a lot of people are like, oh, hold on, it's at $20. Like that's not a bad buy. So it went up nearly 2x. But yeah, I mean, Jupiter's up 3% today when the rest of the market is red. So there's a little bit of a sign that it's showing a little bit of strength. But I do agree. I think Jupiter could be definitely something to add to your watch list in the bear market. Now, when is the bear market? We're currently in it. When will the bear market end? Who knows? No one will be able to tell you, no matter who you listen to. No one can tell you. So listen to that shit. But I would say later this year, maybe 27 is when we start to consider. And another person joined GTG this morning. It was like, Greeny, I want to like get into Pangu. I want to own some Pangu. And I was like, probably shouldn't be owning Pangu right now, brother.
No way.
I said, legend.
I'm trying to get out of it, man.
I was like,
I'm trying to get out of all this shit. Please buy. Please buy. No,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
wouldn't be loading up on alts and memes now,
yeah,
man. Far out. If you want to burn money,
yeah,
yeah, don't, guys. Not financial advice. I'm trying to get out of my last positions. I don't know if I just like you said, the volatility's quite wild, and the problem is that the market wants to go lower.
yeah,
So if it wants to go lower, even these little news articles aren't they're not gonna be enough. They're not gonna,
yeah,
I don't think they're gonna be enough to drive price up. And if it does drive price up, like you said, it'll be a 3% little pump. And I think it's just gonna be business as usual tomorrow because everyone forgets the bullish news. Like, you go back a week and you would have forgotten the news articles we probably spoke about. I have. So, investors don't just pin it on their wall and look at it every morning and go, that's right, Jupiter's bullish. It's just tomorrow, it's a new news article, it's Epstein files, we get distracted, it's a new shiny thing.
yeah,
Price is going down, and I don't know if too much is going to stop it because I think the market cycles are just too strong. Like
exactly.
the market's going to do what it's going to do, like you said, and news might create a temporary pump or dump. But at the end of the day, it's still going to go where it wanted to go, regardless of news, unless that news is like quite big, like
Yeah,
World War or like something quite like Black Swanny.
yes.
I don't know what the opposite of a black swan would be now. Like, in other words, what a really bullish announcement would be. Probably something like the US is adding to their Bitcoin reserves and they start actually actively buying,
But I mean,
maybe.
like,
But is
to
that
add
enough?
that, no, yeah, I'm going to say it's not enough. Like, look at Michael Saylor and look at Tom Lee.
Yeah,
Like, they're both
he's not huge.
underwater billions of dollars, right? So I would argue even that catalyst is a short-term relief, complacency, and
Yeah.
then continuation of the trend until we really find a bottom where sellers and arguably these exchanges and these market makers are confident or happy that yeah, okay, we're done selling here. Now let's see
Yeah.
retail take back over. Like really interestingly, I'll try and find it too. Like the WoW accumulation is again, like I've been saying for a while, at the fastest rate that we have seen literally since 2014. So
That's
and,
crazy, man.
and retail participants haven't really seen an increase for a long, long time. So we'll talk. Let's talk about that. I mean, gold volatility. Just to touch on this, is been the wildest swings in price since 2008. That is
And what
crazy.
what happened then, Greeny? What happened
What
around that
happened in
time?
2008, guys? I was in grade 8, but the global financial crisis, literally one of the most historic events in history of humankind, right? Financial markets, economies, etc. That is crazy to think. And as you said earlier in this show, Craig, is this a sign of what's to come, that the bubble is going to pop across everything in the coming years or the coming 6 months? Like, is that what, like, are we expecting a huge market collapse worldwide across every market because of just how much leverage is in the system, how much debt is out there, how expensive it is to live life? I don't know, Craig. It's a worry. It certainly is a worry.
Yeah, I saw this headline and I was like, yeah, just another tip of the hat. I'm just going to open the door quickly, man. I've got a wasp flown in the office, going to sting the shit out of me. Hang on.
No worries, mate. Oh, well, just to touch back on that Bitcoin balances, as it shows you here, so I'm going to run through the list, right? And as you can see, it'll differentiate between how many addresses own 1,000 Bitcoin, 100, 10, 1, 0.1, and 0.001. So we have a look at this one here. Addresses with 1,000 Bitcoin. So that's a lot of money now. That is a lot of money. But it is for the first time going up. So we've seen actually nearly 43 more wallets accumulate over 1,000 Bitcoin in just the past month than we have seen for a long, long time. We have not seen a rise like that since February 2025, where but we're still going down. So again, 1,000 Bitcoin, probably quite unrealistic for a lot of people to understand and comprehend. So let's go to 100. So 100, a lot more affordable for actual individuals, hedge funds to add to their balance sheets, for countries to maybe consider, etc. But look at this chart. It is literally outperforming everything. And this is the fastest rate we have seen accumulation literally since way back here in about 2017 to the 2014 period. This period here where we went absolutely crazy when Bitcoin was all the way back at $1,000 and to 15,000, where we went really aggressively. Look at the aggression here, Craig, literally since about $62,000 of Bitcoin. So my thinking here is if CZ or his team or whoever it is like the people who are actually watching books, watching whale wallets, watching on-chain volume, all these sorts of things. If the value where a lot of people started to get back in, so it's been an increase of about 4,000 addresses, so wallet addresses with Bitcoin over 100 BTC. If their average buy from basically here, where price was $63,000, that remains a high time frame target for me to put a lot of these people back underwater. And so I think Bitcoin definitely goes back down to the 50K region because of that exact fact. Plus, obviously, MicroStrategy and whatnot as well, who are even higher than this sort of accumulation level. But this is the fastest rate we've seen since 2014 to 2017. Interesting, very interesting. Whales are accumulating, institutions are accumulating. It's becoming, I know it's still decentralized technology in terms of the actual infrastructure of Bitcoin, but the centralized nature of supply control, Craig, is happening in real time.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting how that's happening. You would have thought price would appreciate on that. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's bullish longer term, and I suppose at some point price will need to catch up.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what those wallets, what their behavior is like, those when they start to offload. But yeah, I just would have thought you would have seen price explode with wallets holding that much holding, but someone's selling more than they're buying. So
Exactly.
is that Binance? I mean, are Binance just offloading too much, and it just
Maybe.
even though these big wallets are accumulating, are other parties offloading enough? Which I would guess say yes.
Yes.
So there's more sellers. So who are the sellers? Who are these sellers that keep smashing us down? I'm going to guess it's got to be big boys doing it, but
it has to be. It has to be because even okay. Now let's go and look at smaller wallets for Bitcoin. So even 10 wallets for Bitcoin, which right now is about $700,000 US, or maybe a little bit more, 750. If you look at this, it hasn't seen an increase at all, Craig. So again, this further compounds the point that it's like, look at this. This is retail. So 1 BTC, right? It has been down literally down since February 2024. So it's capital institutions, hedge funds, countries. It's people with wealth that are accumulating Bitcoin at the fastest rate since 2014 to 2017. A real transfer of wealth. Maybe it's old whales too, Craig, from the early period of cycles that are selling, as well as Binance and these exchanges that are selling into these Michael Saylor type-esque people and funds and whatnot. So interesting time to be on chain. Very interesting time to be on chain.
Yeah, it also, I guess it also shows retail's just not interested, are they? Retail being under 1 Bitcoin.
Yes.
But they're not buying. They haven't been interested since what, Feb 24, did you say?
Yeah, basically.
Which actually lines up quite well with how things moved.
Yeah.
It's like
November
retail.
24. Yeah, November 24, huge decrease in wallets that own just a little bit of Bitcoin. Again, that times very nicely with the meme coin super cycle as well. Pretty crazy.
It does. I think eventually those whales buying will pump price. I think it will. Again, it's cyclic. Again, them buying isn't driving price up because obviously sellers aren't exhausted yet. We're just going to have to wait. We just got to wait and flush all the weak hands. I love all this crypto jargon. Just going to flush the weak hands, guys. But that's pretty much what has to happen. It's got to wash out the last of retail that's selling. It's got to wash out all the big dogs that need to clear their books because they probably bought. Binance probably had to buy a whole heap when the system broke. They had to step in. They were the only ones who could. And they've been offloading since, which on-chain tells us they are. So even though CZ's saying you don't get rich by selling, well, you're selling the most of all, you dirty dog. Stop selling.
He might not be true. Exactly.
How about CZ stop selling as well? And then we can all, anyway. You can't stop the cycle, can you? It's amazing. It's just amazing to me how market cycles are so ingrained and so powerful that you just can't stop it. It's interesting.
Good comment here on YouTube. What about pivoting from holding self-custody or bigger wallets, wanting more security via ETFs? I think that is certainly something to be aware of. But I mean, you can't, it's still, why is price down, right? Why is price down? Even though we're seeing whales accumulate at the fastest rate since 2014 to 2017, why is price still going down? ETFs, the ETF like conversation is an interesting one. I know a lot of people. Jamie Coots actually put a tweet up yesterday about how ETF inflow is literally non-existent, even at 70K region. So that just shows you proof that retail is not interested. And I would argue that I do agree with that comment that maybe people with more money, if ETFs give distributions and dividends, that's a big catalyst as well, potentially. But I think a lot of people need to understand that ETFs are actually retail based as well. Like it's not like wealth. It's not institutions and hedge funds, right? It is actually retail participants, which is just a common average Joe who goes, oh, I can buy a Bitcoin ETF now on this exchange that I've held my S&P ETF on for years. Makes sense. I'll just click buy, right? Oh shit, that's going down 25%. I'm gonna get out, sell, right? It's just a cascade of what we've already observed on chain, right? I don't think ETFs necessarily insinuate anything specifically about wealth. I think it just actually allows it to be more accessible to probably the average Joe person. However, I do agree that I think if certain people have more wealth, it might be something that, I was chatting to Market Watcher in the comments last night, another fellow trader from Germany, who also was like, maybe I don't want to own Bitcoin on chain anymore, and I want to own the ETFs that pay me distributions or dividends every year too. So yeah, it's an interesting trend that I've noticed recently is people would rather hold the ETF than the actual token on chain, which is interesting. So again, we'll be updating this in real time in the future months and future years. So make sure you click follow. Speaking of my friend from Germany, Germans can now buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana products directly from their ING account. I am an ING user, arguably, I think, one of the best banking platforms in Australia. I've been using it for a long time. And yeah, this is very interesting, Craig. So, it's just making it more accessible. And this is what tech is going to be doing in the coming years. It's just like you look at Revolut, you look at all of these other ones from like the Europe and UK and America with Gemini card and whatnot, where you get Bitcoin cash back. So this is what we're noticing is that tech is evolving here. And it's like you look at what was MoonPay, for example, like you can buy directly Phantom right now. You can upload, lol. You can deposit money directly into Phantom and buy and trade on Hyperliquid perps on Phantom wallet, right? It's just tech is evolving compared to what we saw in 2021, where you're like, shit, MetaMask wallet sucks. How do I increase my gas to beat someone in an NFT mint, right? Like tech is very evolving. So I'm very curious to see where this evolves in the next 5 to 10 years, Craig, because I think it'll be so easy for people to buy in and out, which is everyone's always like, oh, it's so easy to buy. But it also makes it so easy to sell. Exactly.
Good headlines, though. They are good headlines. And eventually these headlines are going to, eventually the bullish headlines will again create price appreciation. Again, they're just not enough at this stage of the market. I don't think retail's going to read this and go, oh, shit, I better get in. It's just, I think they're down too much. I think you probably find retail bought above 100K. That's when they probably FOMO'd in mostly. So retail's probably underwater, and this sort of stuff's just not gonna. But again, removing friction to buy and sell, a good thing over time, and does I suppose as these headlines continue to come out over time, mums and dads and people like that will read these and go, oh, maybe crypto is something I can look at investing in over time. I think it's going to take a long time, years and years and years still for me to be able to go to my neighbor's next door who's 55 years old and you'd be mowing the lawn and see me and him say, oh, I just grabbed some Bitcoin. I think we're still a little bit away from my car mechanic neighbor having Bitcoin. You know what I mean? I know some do, but I just mean like it's an everyday thing. It's just not like that yet.
It's still so risky. Like the common perception on the news, the way media orientates it, because it's unregulated, right? And so the government, banks, media, they don't want, like, they know it's unregulated. They know how volatile it is. So they don't want the average Joe to be probably getting into it, right? So it's still a long way to go in terms of acceptance is probably the word we could describe as well. Like if you look at altcoins too, that's further proved the point this cycle where AVAX went nowhere, Link went nowhere, even though like those two tech fundamentally are great. But again, it goes back to the point we've discussed at length before is why would you hold the token unless you need to use it, right? Like you're holding purely based speculatively on the tech. Like as a company, like as a stock, like that's like it's very interesting. It's very interesting where crypto is heading. But again, that's why I'm only really interested in Bitcoin and Hyperliquid later this year, Craig. And I said it. I think I can't wait to buy Hyperliquid under $30. Even though it was at $37, everyone was rejoicing. I said it's gonna go down. I think it's gonna go down later this year. I found that we discussed this yesterday, so I've just found it for you. The percentage of addresses in profit for Bitcoin. This is fascinating. So still right now at 75K Bitcoin, guess how much percentage is in profit, Craig? 76% of people who own Bitcoin, who have bought Bitcoin at any time, I'm talking today all the way back to when it initiated in 2011, 76% of people, 3/4 of the people worldwide are still in profit. We are going lower.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I am surprised. I'd be interested to see how much Bitcoin each one has, and then what percentage of people in profit.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah.
I've got a feeling if it's less than 1 Bitcoin or it's 0.1, I reckon those people might be underwater, because I reckon that will be more retail. I think the people in profit are bigger holders, but that's just me guessing. I don't know. I'm pretty impressed 76% are still in profit at this price. And yes, that does for me, that is a risk, because as price goes lower, people like me will start to go, hang on, I might need to get out of this to buy lower later. And there's obviously there's still people, but there's still believers in there that will get shook out.
Okay, here's a really this is another way that analytically you could look at markets. Again, like I said, I like to look at technicals, I like to look at sentiment, I like to look at macro. Here's a really interesting one, Craig. So in the past 2 bear cycles, we noticed that addresses in profit dropped all the way to about 45, 46% in 2019. And last cycle, it dropped to about 51% at the end of 2022, started 2023. So a slight increase, what we say 5% increase. So potentially once wallets get down to about 60% of profit, that could be around a bottom signal or a good time to accumulate. Maybe not necessarily the bottom, because you never know what can happen, macro or black swans and whatnot. But that could be a really good sign of accumulation for myself, where I look, okay, only 60% of wallets are in profit now. I'm happy to start really aggressively accumulating Bitcoin now, and particularly if I'm not going to buy a house. Like I could buy hundreds of thousands of dollars of Bitcoin rather than
hundreds of Bitcoin.
Oh, dude. I wish. Where's that money coming from?
No, good. I think that's probably not a bad shout. I think that's probably another data point you could look at to add to your little list of, as a trader, you just try and have an edge. And how do you have an edge? You want more data than the guy next to you is trading, right? So you just want more confirmation data. So this is probably another one that, like you said, maybe once that hits about 60%, it may not be the bottom, but it might be a good indicator or indication that we're starting to bottom out. So, no, good shout, good bit of data. I'm impressed. 75% of us are in profit. I mean, I am. So, and I'm just some little retard doing this. So,
I mean, I'm actually, what's price right now?
75 to
75. I am $800 in profit with my spot order buy from the bear market.
Let's go. Greeny, you're still up. Yeah, man. Greeny bought some Bitcoin. Was it yesterday, the day before? That was magnificent.
Yeah, and shame I didn't quite get my buy order a little bit lower at 72.5 overnight. But hey, hopefully it'll come in the next few days. I'm bullish on price going lower. How be that? Hey, that's a new one.
If you love Bitcoin at 70K, you'll love it at what? 38, 36.
Hold on. These are really good tweets. Let me just draft these up. Hold on. If you loved
that'll
Bitcoin
get them raging
at 125K. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it at 38K. That's a good one. I'll tweet that later. And what was the one I just said? I'm bullish on price going lower. Okay. Now we're moving to the chart. So guys, if you are watching and you have any requests on a particular ticker, probably not meme coins. So low cap memes. We get not low cap memes, but we can look at any altcoins. We can look at higher cap memes, comment them down below, and we can take a look at them. We're going to start at the top. So total crypto market cap. So the worry here and why I'm not keen on altcoins is this chart, right? So basically you're breaking down for the first time, literally since the bull cycle started in October 2023. So the trend is your friend here, right? And very much so. Like this encapsulates not only Bitcoin and Ethereum and stables, but this captures everything. So if this chart is going down, you really want to avoid altcoins and meme coins, in my opinion, because they're going to suffer. Like a lot of people are like, no, but MOG's down 90% already. Yeah, brother, it can go down another 90%, bro. Okay, that's how price works. Okay, that's why these things have no intrinsic value at the end of the day, right? So definitely, I think we go lower here, Craig. It's pretty bearish, this chart right now. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree. I look at this chart and it's pretty horrific, man, to see like half a billion wiped out? No, trillion. Half a trillion taken off. Because it was up at about 3 something, wasn't it?
Whoa. What just happened then? Restream.
I didn't know if it's you. My internet's been sketchy lately. I don't know about yours, man, but it's been horrific.
I think it was Restream.
Shout out to the puppets. Thanks, Pablos. Yeah, I watch this daily. You do as well, I'm sure. And total crypto market cap has looked bad for a while. And what's surprising to me is how it looks so similar to 21.
Uncanny.
I didn't think they'd give it to us on a silver platter like that.
I tweeted about it.
I thought sometimes you sort of think when you see things repeat, you go, it can't be this easy. And sometimes it is. It is that easy. And it actually, I'm like, you know what? Once we go into a full-on bear, we're going to look back and look at this and go, how did I not?
No, I'm going to, okay, you go first. You go first.
How did you not? And how did I not see it coming? In saying that, you and I called lower high, man. So we saw it.
I did see it coming, except for my Pudgy Penguin. That's why I only own a Pudgy Penguin right now and nothing else. Oh, so I own a little bit of Bitcoin, like 0.14 of a Bitcoin. Sorry, not 0.14, 0.014 of a Bitcoin. Slow DCAs. We'll look through some of these charts, but yeah, no, that's definitely the interesting part. Is we are now at the 0.5 of that means we're down. We are down already from the all-time high. We are down already 40%. From the all-time high, Craig. So I would argue, as I said last week, maybe a lot of the price pain has already been observed. I think we definitely still have a lot of price pain ahead, but I think time will be the more painful thing that we experience in 2026 for crypto. And I've been saying this for a long time.
Yeah, so, I think it could be. It could be an extended bear market as well. We might see it. Oh, who knows? Who knows cycle lengths? But
yeah,
I agree with you. While we might not see like something horrific like us dipping down to say 20, 30K Bitcoin. Maybe we don't see that, man. Maybe we don't even see the 30s. Maybe we only see 40s or 50s. The amount of time that we sit in there, I think, will be more painful for people, possibly because you know how bored people get. Like when, for instance, when Bitcoin went from 40 to 70K, and then it just crabbed in that region for, was it 6 months before we pumped, and people got so bored.
24? Yeah.
And that was without price really going down to, it did a bit, but just people get so bored and chop that I think the bear market chop, if you thought you got bored in the bull and chop, wait till you go into a bear to chop. It's even worse because it's like, oh, we're almost out. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, no, we're not. Like it hurts. So probably get ready to take a little holiday for the next 6 months because I don't know if it's going to do much exciting stuff. But yeah, dude, look at that carbon copy. You could cut that chart in half and just fold it like a piece of paper and go, there we go.
Hey, guys, if you're around 2021, here is the 2025 exact blueprint and take it and run with it, guys. Take it and run with it. All right, Aerodrome was the first request from Levi. Double top here, swing value pattern, not very bullish. Very similar chart to ETH, actually, with this swing value pattern up the top at a previous all-time high. Again, that was the end of 2024, very much when everyone's portfolios were at all-time highs, when meme coin super cycle was happening, when the virtuals ecosystem was thriving. Okay, majors were doing pretty good then. Solana was still up in the high 200s. Ethereum was still around 4K sort of region as well. Not good here. Doesn't look good. I mean, arguably, you could say this is a head and shoulders pattern, which means we are going way lower. It has to hold this low. It has to hold this low. If it doesn't hold this low, then yeah, it's revisiting back down here, wherever this is, way down at sub 100 million in my opinion. So yeah, I'd watch this low. Interestingly, I do know what this is. This is obviously a competitor to Uniswap. Because it is a base DEX, so potentially with base and Coinbase continuing to dominate, yeah, it could fundamentally hold up a bit better than technically. But in terms of base itself, it's just an ecosystem I didn't have time to get around and farm. Like, who knows when they're going to launch? Maybe in the bear market. If they haven't launched probably in the next 6 months or so, which I don't think they will, I actually think maybe I will spend a bit of time going over there and looking at what I can accumulate over on base. So it's definitely the number one EVM outside of obviously Ethereum. It has dominated for a long time. Very interesting to see where this heads in the future. AI seems to be, well, a lot of like, I've noticed a big shift from good tokens performing better on Ethereum or /base compared to Solana. So that could be a narrative that really underpins the coming years as well. But yeah, in terms of this chart, again, like, if I could, let me just see if I can compare this against BTC. That is always the chart that you want to do, right? Let's see if it works. Nah, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for me. So I can't compare it against BTC. But basically, over time against BTC, it's probably underperforming, which the majority of assets currently are. Any comments on Aerodrome from you, Craig, and Base?
Not much. I had a few people shilling this to me about a year ago, telling me it's a must buy. I'm glad I didn't get in. Yeah, I don't know too much about it. I actually haven't messed around on Base much at all, man, to be honest with you. I don't know. It's just all this stuff seems so unnecessary, eh? I think I'm becoming a Bitcoin bull, man. I just think, like you said, why do we have to? I mean, I know why we buy it. We buy it to make money, but other than making, like, why own it?
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of that, Vitalik, actually, I read this morning too. Vitalik actually came out literally overnight and said L2 vision no longer makes sense and is exactly the point that accounts have been talking about for a while. Ethereum put years into L2s as a chosen scaling path, and the result is massive liquidity fragmentation. Most L2s recycle the same TVL, compete for users, extract value while contributing very little back to Ethereum itself. Instead of strengthening the base layer, they dilute it. This isn't scaling, this is outsourcing the problem. And the big reason why Ethereum is sitting at 2,000 instead of 10,000. That is a great tweet, and I highly agree with that tweet. Again, this is a big lesson for a lot of those L2s, and this is something I realized months ago with Monad, with Mega ETH, with Abstract, with Base, and it's just so hard to be bullish on something that doesn't have a trend, doesn't have sentiment, doesn't have liquidity when you have this exact problem. Look at how Arbitrum's gone. Look at how Optimism's gone. Look at those tokens. They're literally going to zero, right? Look at even the top lending protocols and staking protocols on Ethereum. What's it called? Rocket Pool. Look at that. Look at that token. Okay, they're all going to zero, right? So, dude, it makes me so hard to be bullish on an ecosystem that is building an L2. It really makes me hard to be bullish. Is that just a brutal take, or is that pretty fair in my opinion?
No, I think it's pretty fair. I don't think there's enough people into crypto to warrant all these coins and all these tokens and all these things. There's not enough of us. So it's like everyone's just vamping each other like meme coins do. You know, you get a meme coin run on ETH, and then a Solana version will come out and eat a part of that pie. We see it all the time with meme coins, right? And then the top dog will pull back, the beta play will pump, and then they kind of go like this. Same thing happens with L2s. They just eat each other for a bit, they vamp each other, and then they die. And ultimately retail lose.
Yeah.
Except the few people got in early probably. But yeah, I agree with him. But I don't know, man. I do agree with him, and I think the longer you're in crypto, you start to realize that a lot of this is just
absolute dog shit.
And when I first got started in 21, I used to froth on altcoins. I used to think they were so good. Like this one was doing this for this tech, and then they're working with NASA.
Sandbox.
Like I was buying, was it XVG? I can't remember, XV whatever, because they had a partnership with NASA back in 21. It did nothing, man. Like partnership with NASA, what does it even mean? I don't even know what it meant. It just sounded good, so I bought it.
Of course, and that's why so many people lose money on altcoins because it sounded good.
And that's one of the reasons why I decided to do what I do, and probably why you decided to do what you do, is because I just got slaughtered, man. And I just thought, man, if I can help just one person avoid what I went through, that is a good thing to do for the world. You know, not trying to glaze myself too much, but I just thought there weren't enough voices in the space saying honest takes, because most of the takes on the timeline are usually to make money for yourself, right?
Exactly.
Most of the takes you put out, you're trying to manipulate opinion to pump your own bag. And yes, we all do it, but there's definitely ethics and etiquette involved. And I certainly say that for you and me. I would never try and pump my own bag if I think it will hurt someone else coming in after me. And I get it wrong, no doubt. I mean, I had a guy 2 days ago bust my balls on the timeline about because I put some Bitcoins. Obviously, I shill Bitcoin a lot, and he was saying, "If you're such a Bitcoin bull, why are you shilling altcoins?" I'm like, first of all, am I not allowed to talk about altcoins? And he actually meant meme coins. And I said, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I haven't shilled altcoins in probably 2 years." And he goes, "No," and he brought up Burb and it's like, dude, all I did was put up a chart. I just put up a chart. I'm commenting on things. I'm not. People try to say buy. Oh, by the way, Burb pumped 2x after that. So I put up the next picture and said, "Oh, actually, you probably should have bought, man." But you know, it's just sometimes when people do that, I'm like, man, that. The reality is, the guy's got Bitcoin in his profile, in his PV, so he's a mad Bitcoin bull, obviously, right? So I actually agree. If he's listening now, I agree with you. It's all shite, but you can make money. You can make money on them.
Yes, you can make money if you capture
it's shite.
Yeah, no, I agree. Everything's going to zero, but you can make money when it outperforms that specific asset or asset class, right? And that's the key. And that's a lesson I learned over my first 2 cycles. It's like, okay, there's money-making opportunities that accumulate faster than Bitcoin, but you got to get in and out of those quickly when everyone's talking about. Again, I don't want to riddle on about this to tell you I told you so, but this is the education, as you said before. We ethically go about it. We've done that publicly across hundreds of live streams over the past 2 years. We took profit when everyone else was like, "You're an idiot for taking profit." Look at us now, okay? We give you realistic-based, price-based analysis that is bearish when we need to be bearish and bullish when you need to be bearish. We actually talk about shit when it's happening, and we actually predict things before they happen because we have a good understanding of how trends emerge, how trends fail, and how price analysis really helps you fundamentally and technically be aware of what potentially is going to happen in the future. So I really hope people value that from our show, because that is what Market Mates is. We actually care for people, and we care about realistic news and realistic analysis, unlike literally 98% of people out there on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, right? So the one point I want to make about this is he did propose viewing L2s as a specialized chain for niches like gaming and AI. So that could be something that is bullish in the future. The trouble being, AI is going to outpace gaming infrastructure and gaming development. The trouble is, if you're trying to build a gaming chain, you are basically going to war with Roblox, with Fortnite, with Epic Games. Like, it's tough. It is Blizzard. Like, I could rattle Call of Duty, Battlefield. Like, you are going to war with juggernauts who have dominated this industry for 30 years. Good luck. I say good luck to you, but I just don't think it's going to really work out like that. I think crypto gaming will evolve into something that we probably don't even know what it is yet. I think that's the big lesson here, is all these people saying like, "Oh, it's going to become like the new, like GTA 6 is going to integrate Avalanche transactions due to the subnet or whatever." Like, no, it's not going to be that. It's going to be something that we don't even realize that we need or need to build or whatever it is. That's the real innovation, and let's call it, that'll happen in crypto and blockchain technology. Okay, sure, it'll be skins, it'll be in-game currencies, it'll be microtransactions, as we've seen across a range of games already. But if you want a game that is played by hundreds of millions of people consistently over a 5-10 year period, it's going to be something different. It's got to be something different. So
it will. And they don't care. The gamers don't care. They don't want it. So, and also, you know, what problem are you solving for them? That, first of all, and I know you could turn around and say the skins, you don't own them, and I agree. I think eventually it will happen, and you will have ownership of your assets that you can sell. But first of all, the game has to want to allow you to do that, right? Rather than it happen under their watch. And gamers just aren't screaming for it. They're not asking for it. So you can't really solve a problem if in the gamer's eyes there is no problem. They don't care. Like if a game came out, right, and said, great news, guys, you can pay with crypto now. I don't think gamers are going to rush to buy that. Crypto people will, and we're all going to go, it's here, blah, blah, blah. But I just don't think people just don't care yet. So until people start to care, that gaming, I agree with you. I think that game, good luck. Like,
good luck.
I haven't seen any title yet that would make me want to play it if it's crypto based versus my PlayStation 5. It's way better PlayStation 5. Like it's way better.
Hey, I'm an Xbox guy, so let's fight. Anyways, let's move on to a couple more charts. I'm happy to go on. I just we're not going on with Bren this week. It'll be next week.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So let's go. We'll go another 20 minutes or so. I reckon that's fine. All right, let's have a look at some of these charts. So if you guys, if you're still watching and you have a specific request for a chart you'd like to look at, we'll obviously go through some of my lists. But if you have a specific chart, it can be on chain as well, like I just showed with Aerodome. Share it in the comments. So someone mentioned HBAR earlier. Doesn't look good. You're losing this monthly order block here. You're basically nearly grabbing liquidity below the. Again, you should probably ignore the wicks from the 10th of the 10th. That they just don't have valid price action and valid liquidity, but it is about to lose that, which is pretty crazy. Again, similar trend to what you'll notice with a lot of charts this cycle is this had a really good narrative. It outperformed for a period of time, but over time, it's still lower highs and down only. Still lower lows here. It is like it has to hold this structure down here at around 0.043, so 43 cents. Has to hold this or kind of do what it did last cycle. This is how I know a bear market is finished in terms of you can now start to reaccumulate. Is you get a period where price goes sideways, right? Yeah. Where you have reaccumulation. Let's use a highlighter. It's a little bit easier to see. You have reaccumulation around these sort of levels, right? And then you break out of a trend like that. And if you look at any chart, Bitcoin's the same. If you come back and have a look like back here, the MACD, I should pull that up on stream actually. Same for Bitcoin here, right? Eventually it found a bottom. Okay, went sideways. You could say here was also a high. So it had a range here for a period of time where it went sideways between these range and then eventually broke out. That's a bear market bottom starting to form, and we're nowhere close on any chart, in my opinion.
Good structure to show that to people as well. That's what it looks like when you need to accumulate. And by the way, when it's in that range, you won't feel like buying.
No,
like I'll give everyone a future prediction of your emotions. You know how good that looks right now, and you just shown that, and everyone looking like I got goosebumps at that chart. If you bought in that accumulation range, it popped off so good, dude. That did like a 7x. I thought you were looking at HBAR. I did about a 7x, I think. I was in that in 21. Yeah. It won't now. Looking at that now in hindsight, you'll go, "Oh my god, how did no one buy there?" Yeah. It's very different when you're in that time period when it's been going down only or sideways for a year. You will not be. You're not going to be running home from work to slam the buy button. I promise. Well, maybe you will, but it doesn't feel. The bottom doesn't feel like the bottom, like the top doesn't feel like the top.
Exactly.
And the hardest part is to recognize this range before other people catch on. And that's probably my journey I go on this next bull / next bear market, in recognizing this pattern earlier is what I'm trying to achieve. So I didn't recognize it. I did back in 22, 23, I did, but I recognized it a little bit late compared to the bottom. I'm just saying you won't get the bottom. And I'm just trying to give people an understanding of how it's going to feel there. And it's going to feel like you don't want to hit buy. That moment it makes you sick to hit buy is probably the time to hit buy. Yeah. And that moment, I don't feel like that yet. So that's how I can kind of tell we're not there yet. Because I am fearful of buying now, but that's only with experience, right? In the past, in 21, Craig would have hit buy on Bitcoin. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to hit buy. I mean, alts, sorry. Let's go to alts. I'm more talking alts. I would have seen this dip and gone, man, like, okay, we'll go a meme coin, we'll go like Pepe down 70%, 80%. I would have been like, this is a discount. I don't care if this goes lower. This has to go up again. Yeah. No, it doesn't. It doesn't need to go up again.
And it might never. You look at Decentraland. Look at I'll pull them up. Hold on.
Yeah, Sandbox. Hot ticket items, dude. Last time, Engine, Decentraland, Mana. Was that Decentraland Mana?
All those gaming tokens. Dude,
UFO, Alice.
All rugs.
What are they doing? What are they? Where are the games, Greeny?
Yeah.
All these tokens with games. There's more tokens than games.
Look at this. Bang. Like, absolutely. I caught this move too. I got in like down here. It was like an 8x, and I was like, okay, take your money and run.
This is why I thought I was so smart in trading when I first got into crypto, because Feb 21, you couldn't miss, dude. Like, it just went.
No, you couldn't. You could literally do this and win.
Yeah. Partner with NASA, that's a buy.
So no, I agree. I think, you got to wait for a foundation to form. Now you're going to have, like, again, if you want to learn specifics, come and join us in GTG, but you're going to have distributions and PO3s and challenging times where price looks like it's going to go lower, right? But it's not. It's just a distribution below to reclaim, grab this liquidity here and do something like that, right? It happens. Like, the worry for me is, like, if you look back here in the 2018 to 2020 bear cycle, Craig, this lasted a long time. So if you look at this, if we look at this from a time perspective, this went sideways for 1,000 days in a bear cycle. So that is a 3-year period where price did not go back above that level for a long, long time. So just be aware. This is what I said earlier in the show. Price capitulation can happen quick, but time capitulation can happen over years. And that's the brutal part. A lot of people would have left crypto. A lot of people would have forgotten about it. That is the time. And that is the advantage of watching a show like us, because we'll talk through this happening and give you real life proof of me. I lived through that period, but I accumulated Ethereum and Bitcoin every week for about a 1.5 year period during that period, right? I was like $100 in, $100 in. I began my profession as a teacher, and I was like, yep, $100 in. I don't care. Play the long-term game. And then Ethereum went on and did a 40x. Bitcoin went on and did, a 10x or less than that. Yeah, about a 6x from there. So again, play the patient game. Let's look at Layer Zero. So this is suggested, again, like tough one. You're making new lows, right? You still like, you're making new lows. That's the trouble here, is its price hasn't shown me that we are like going sideways yet, right? So tough one for me personally. And again, you got to go back to the same thing as we always discuss. Like, why would you hold this token? What is the benefit of you holding this token? Like, if you can't outlay that on a piece of paper, and Drift is the DEX on Solana. I know I tried to look for Drift, but I don't know which one it is. There's like 6 different options, and half of them had no volume and half of them had no liquidity. So can you send me the direct link, like the contract address, and I can look? But like the issue with majority, like, you really, like, if I'm going to be non-financial advice here and talk to people straight, you really shouldn't own anything right now. You really should not own anything, okay? And that is from
nothing and be happy.
You should own absolutely nothing right now, and that's coming from someone who's been in this market for 9 years. I think that is something you should be aware of. So unless you can write out why you're holding it and why you're bullish and where your invalidation is, that's key, where you have to just cut losses, okay? And I want you to also write a point about, why am I holding this asset instead of Bitcoin? Write that down, and then think about, is this a reasonable hold at this point in time? Most likely 98% of the time, you'll probably say, yeah, Greeny, you were probably right. I probably should get out of this. You should probably get out. So again, just being brutal, but structure here, if I look from a technical perspective, is going lower. That bearish news from Vitalik this morning as well, about Layer Zero, EVM compatible chains. It's a tough one. Okay, so it's DR. Okay, I'll look this up. So
I'm loving the YouTube names. Verhoofdy Floofen. That's brilliant.
So how do we spell it? DRIFTUP. So it's got $94,000 of liquidity. That is a massive concern for me already.
On a market cap of 58 million.
Can I show you? Okay, let chat. Craig, you talk through this one. I'm not going to talk through.
Yeah, it's just a fairly large market cap for very little liquidity. And if there's that little liquidity, how the hell do you get out? Like, say you want to sell $100,000 worth. Doesn't look like you can. There's only 94,000. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the smartest guy with stuff like liquidity, but I'm going to say I haven't seen too many market caps that high with liquidity that low.
That's like a very bad percentage.
Meme coins are normally bad with liquidity. Altcoins are normally a bit better. What is Drift? Is it a...
It's a protocol on Solana.
How can the liquidity be so low for a 58 million market cap?
Don't know.
I don't even know how this works. Who's smarter than me that can answer that? How do you get out?
Well, there could be different. It could be different pools. This just could be the one pool pulled up, right?
Okay.
And obviously different pools on different platforms. So this is the Orca pool.
True.
With Jito Sol as the pair as well. So that's something to be aware of, rather than necessarily Sol. So that could be the reason why there's less liquidity in this specific pool.
It would just concern me, that number. It just, if you have to get in and out, that makes it very tricky, and you're probably going to get mad slippage and get annihilated. No, not for me, that one, man. And that charts
making new lows, and also
look at it.
Go back to the question I said before. Okay, not even Bitcoin. Don't even compare this against Bitcoin. Compare this against Jupiter. Why on earth would you hold Drift compared to something like Jupiter? Okay, then you compare it from Jupiter to Solana. Why not just hold the chain? Okay, then compare the chart of Solana as an inflationary token that has just lost the 120 level for the first time in years. Compare that against Bitcoin. And then you'll come to your realization that you should literally hold nothing in crypto long-term, except for probably the majors over a long-term period, right?
I just had a thought for a new show of ours, or segment we could have. I don't know if you've seen, but Mr. Beast does reaction videos. He used to back in the day. We should do chart reaction videos and just film us reacting to charts, because these are hilarious, dude. Like,
guys, keep sending them through. I've got nowhere to be today.
I don't think that looks great. Yeah, wow.
It is a trading dex, but how much Okay, let's go more broad then. Trading desk. Go to DeFi Llama. Look up other trading dexes. Which ones have the best volume? I can tell you already. Hyperliquid. Okay, Asta will likely have more volume. Look at those tokens compared to Drift. Drift is a derivative of a derivative of a derivative on Solana under the umbrella of a trading desk. Now, don't get me wrong. It could be an amazing platform. It could be cheap. It could be really easy to use. It could be fast. And I have seen Drift around. I'm not saying that it's a bearish platform. I'm saying the market is bearish and the token is bloody bearish, and it's going to outperform to the downside compared to the majority of tokens out there. What are your thoughts on this comment? Buying Bitcoin here is smart because we are like 50% down from all-time high, and everyone is crying about Epstein being a Satoshi.
I think it's a good starting entry point, maybe. It depends on your time horizon, though. You may have to hold a while, but yeah, not a bad 50% discount from all-time high. I agree. You could have bought at a worse time, and that was 50% higher.
Yes.
Yes, I think like Greeny's doing. I think if you don't really own Bitcoin and you don't have exposure, then DCAing slowly from these levels over time, 3 years maybe, as Greeny just pointed out, with the accumulation level we saw in the bear market. Yeah, if your time horizon is long enough, these are good prices. If your time horizon is 3 months, I think these are not good entries. That's I think we go lower. And I think we go lower for longer. And I think you're going to have quite some time to buy. I don't think what you're going to see is a dip, a V-shaped recovery, and you went, oh, I missed the entry. You're going to have a year to buy, guys. Enjoy. You're about to, like Greeny did when he was a teacher, and he was buying weekly. That's the good thing about that accumulation period, is you're going to have ages. These guys know each other.
Yeah. We have friends in the chat.
They know each other.
We have friends in the chat and they're catching up. Loved it. Hey, Mark.
They're on my YouTube.
Mates bring all the mates together. Hey, Mark and mates.
That's so funny. Where are you guys from? Are you German or something? German. Yeah, I think you're going to have it's going to be a fire sale for a year to 3 years maybe. So Solana Seeker phone shit, that hits a bad nerve with me since I got the Saga. How's Solana, by the way, releases a phone, right? Hypes it up being the Saga that I have, then decides they want to release a new phone to generate some more income and stops supporting the first phone and goes, we're no longer supporting it's a brick. It's like, you mother effers, man. Like, anywho, so that's my rant about that.
Money making. Before we move on to Solana Seeker token, this indicator never lies. This indicator never lies. We have 4 out of 4 iterations hitting 4 out of 4. Like, I know it's not a lot of data points and people love to tell me that, but it has never been wrong. Okay. This indicator is the MACD monthly chart. And so many people on Twitter, they go, oh, the daily stochastic, the daily RSI, the daily MACD is bottom. Zoom out, please zoom out, because you will start to learn how markets move. Even this morning in GTG, someone's like, why aren't we getting a bounce yet? Well, we spent 2 months in a consolidation pattern between 80 and 95K. Once you break out of that range, it is impulsive and it is going to be violent. Back that up with monthly, 3 monthly, 6 monthly, yearly downside pressure. Yes, absolutely. We are not going to find a bottom for a while, okay? Now, the MACD, basically, as you can see here, anytime the bearish cross happens, okay, where the red moving average moves over the blue average, the previous all-time high, so the high just before it, okay, the high just before it, same as here, was the all-time high of that cycle. Now, I said this, I tweeted this out last year in November before it happened, back here in October, November. I said, this is approaching. It has a 3 out of 3% hit rate. And again, you got to look at the monthly stochastic momentum indicator as well. Like, look at this. Time that with the monthly stochastic momentum with at MACD, putting those two beside each other with structural price, like bearishness at the highs at 120 with swing failure patterns. It was 3 drives of bearish divergence and sweeps of highs. It was the perfect storm for me to say, get out of everything and prepare for the bear market. Fast track to where we are now in February. 4 months later, it is playing out exactly as I suggested. So don't forget the value of high time frame analysis, because yes, it's lagging, and yes, it takes a while to play out. But when you get to an inflection point where price is either very overbought or very oversold, okay, it is going to show you how that is going to take place. So as you can see here, 4 out of 4. Craig is going again. What is happening? What is happening with the stream today? Hold on.
The powers above don't want us talking about crypto, man. They're trying to shut me down.
The powers above. CZ must be hacking into our live stream right now and saying, no, guys, stop telling everyone we're bearish, okay? We're bullish.
Get out
this
for telling.
indicator does not lie, Craig. What are your thoughts? Here?
Yeah, my thoughts are lower, 0. Yeah, 0. Where my thoughts are lower for longer in a summary. I lost all my chat messages now. That's annoying. I don't know what's up with my internet. Sorry, guys. It's been a bit funny today. There we go. It's back. I can see what everyone's saying. Yeah, dude. Too much data points to lower for longer. So, yeah, bad. Well, good news, actually, isn't it? Good news, guys. If you think about it, your favorite coins are going to be on sale for the next 1 to 3 years. So if you're really bullish on any of the tech, start buying in a year, and yeah, if it goes up, yeah, you'll make a lot of money. When are you going to start buying altcoins, Granny?
Not until I see a bottom. And even then, I probably I'm kind of like,
hello, Cappy.
Cappy, welcome to the channel, mate. Until we find a clear bottom, I'm not really interested. And even then, I probably would only throw $5,000 at like Pepe, Pengu. That's it. And
a few lotto tickets.
Honestly, like Solana, I'm only buying because you probably trade on chain. Same as Ethereum. Like Hyperliquid and Bitcoin scream value to me in a bear market. And honestly, I'd rather play our majority of wealth into that and sit on a potential
strong ones.
Sit on a potential 3 to 10x and just be happy with that. Like if you have like not that I do, particularly buy a house, maybe I won't, but like if you have a couple 100,000, say you got $250,000, a 3 to 10x is like 2 million, right? Like potentially downside, or a mil to 2 million, right? So like that's the, I got to think about that, and then have still liquidity over on the side to trade the trends, to trade the NFTs, to trade the airdrops, to trade the perps, etc., right? So it doesn't matter AUD as USD. It doesn't depend. It doesn't matter. It depends on either or. Like it doesn't matter what currency you own, right? It's the same preference, right? Dude, the more I think about it, the more it go back to the house conversation. The more I think I want to get a house, but I should buy something cheap, just live in it, and then your mortgage repayments get closer to where your rent currently is. That way, like rather than going, like previously I was thinking, no, let's go for that extra, like that little bit better house. Now I'm like, no, like get in at a lower, cheaper level. Then you've got diversification there, but then you're not absolutely bleeding money to a mortgage while you're going to get a premium opportunity on a volatile asset class like crypto. Now, again, when is this going to bottom? Like it took ages for this bottom. Like just to show you, when did this cross back over? Is it going to time the bottom? Absolutely not. But just to show you when this chart bottom, for example, I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit higher here. So how, like realistically on time base, okay, so it bottomed here a little bit, but until the bull cycle took over again, how long does it take before we see a bottom? Like this one took, this one here took 500 days. This one took 700 days. So like, let's say it doesn't take as long. So let's say 3, like it's still a year, Craig, from now. Like November 2026, end of this year, Q4, probably where maybe we start to see a bottom in the crypto cycle. Again, I don't ever like to predict on time or price because no one can get it right. But I think that's where the monthly stochastic and the, like, I mean, if you look at monthly too, like, again, let's look at monthly stochastic crossing over. It was there. So it took less time. So it was maybe a year at monthly stochastic up the top there at the bottom. And the same one here, it took a little bit less time, right? So if you're more bullish, maybe monthly stochastic gives you a sign within a 300-day period, right? So let's say stochastic bottoms a little bit sooner than that. So maybe, yeah, Q3, Q4 this year is where I start to see real good value. And that's when I might consider buying memes and buying alts, just very like sporadic and very much like a time-based trade rather than a bullish. Like I'm buying it because I think, well, Pepe will run it back or Pengu will run it back. These guys having their own conversation now, chat, and Bitcoin running it back. So so that's my thoughts is stay patient. I'm happy to accumulate here at 75 and down. Like I've only got like, I don't know, $1,000 at certain bids, right? Up into like $5,000 bids. But I think it's about playing time. Time is the effort here rather than price. And I think that's once you become an experienced trader investor, you understand time more than you understand price.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. And we'll, for one of the last charts we'll bring up that I thought was quite funny, maybe bring up Birdman after that God candle and have a look at what it did.
So just to show you too, Seeker is bottoming out at 786, so it could break out, but same again, it'll likely make a lower high and then continue down. That's exactly
Zero.
So I actually shorted this last night, Craig.
Yeah, you would have killed it, dude.
No, guess what? Because of funding rates, I got slammed. I lost money. Because it was pumped and manipulated so much. I should have just held the short, but like it actually, yeah, on this platform, it did make a new all-time high, which is crazy. Like, look at this. Crime season, baby. Crime season.
The rat was so good.
It's crazy. But yeah, anyways, Burb
is just pumped. Bro. Bye.
Yeah. Fuck. I think Ver says, I don't think we go much lower than 75. I disagree.
Much lower. We're almost there now.
We are there right now. Like, look at this chart. We got so much room to go. To the down.
Yeah, I think someone was asking. Well, I thought that what we thought the bottom was 40 or 50, that range in there. But I mean, man, I'm guessing, bro. I'm guessing. Who knows? Because it just depends how bad the despair is at the bottom, and what macro factors are at play at that time, e.g., real estate starts rolling over, stock market rolls over, metals roll over and pull back. Crypto's going to get slammed. So maybe we wick down to 36, 38. Maybe we don't. Maybe we stop at about 50. Maybe we stop at 60. It actually doesn't matter. I think guessing the bottom there's no point. There's actually no point to guess bottom prices because just DCA in on the way down, and then you won't actually have to know what the bottom is because guessing bottoms, I think, is a fool's game. You won't get it. You won't be right. Just DCA in slowly. But I think if I was to see 40K, I would buy a fair bit. I'd be buying a fair bit at 40K.
I'm just looking at goodness, this is going back a while. I'm just looking at how far each bear cycle pulled back in terms of a fib. So I'm just trying to find the low. So it actually went a little bit lower than the 786 in this cycle. Where's the 88? Yeah, so in the 2017 cycle, we saw it pull back all the way to the 786, 886 fib twice. In the 2018, 2019 bear cycle. In the cycle previously in 22, 23, we came back and touched the 786. So realistically, where could price go? $39,000 in this bear cycle. That is realistically based on what we've seen and observed previously. 39.5. It might be slightly off, chat. I do apologize, but hopefully it's as close as I can get it. But around 39.3 could very much be a high time frame target. There is actually liquidity here at that level too, at that low 40s, high 30 level. So that's I would say that could happen. That could happen. Be prepared for price going to 39K.
I put a post up about 6 months ago saying I'm looking forward to 36K, and I got that number from what you just did there. I was doing napkin math while I was walking my dog one day, and I came up with it. So I was off by about $3,000, but yeah, it was about 36K. I got to just working out the percentage drawdowns in a bear. And I was like, holy crap, man, 36K. I was like, wow. Going off what it's done in the past, you've got to kind of be open to it, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a data guy. Yeah. Yep. I don't want to actually do it. I say I don't want to see it, but maybe I do. No, I do. 36 would be good. I think you could get a good win there, man. Like, even if it goes to 150.
Oh, exactly. It's already a 3x back to its previous all-time high.
Yeah. So yeah, I think 40K. Yeah, I think 40. I'll be back in the truck up in that 40K range, dude. Pretty big. Yeah, pretty big. And I hope Epstein isn't Satoshi when I do that. Although it doesn't really matter.
I'm writing a tweet. All right, let's get the Bears in. Let's get the Bulls angry again. All right, just put a tweet up. Yeah, I think we're done. I think that's been a huge stream.
I think we're done.
I think I'm done. I think I'm
cooked. Thanks for pulling up Verhofty Floofin and Mark Dutch and
Netherlands. He said
Cryo Shart had a nice comment for Greeny there. Majestic blue eyes, wondrous facial structure, impeccable jawline. Thanks. That's great.
And I haven't even been gymming, so thanks, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, you haven't even seen him in his final form, guys.
Mark says, as long as Trump is in the Oval Office, all predictions are just guesses. I disagree severely with that comment, and technical analysis will arguably give you levels of interest far superior than some random orange man in an office of power who has done nothing but destroy crypto since he's been in office.
Yeah, it won't matter who's in, whether it's Kamala Harris, Trump, the market's going to market, and I've said that from the start. It respects TA, GG brother. It respects TA regardless of who sits in that chair. The market doesn't care who sits in that chair, really. It does for little moments in time, so don't get all uppity because you're going to go, when you got in, then it skyrocketed. Yes, I know. But guess what? We're still going into a bear market, and Mr. Pro Crypto is still the American president, and look at price. It's dumping. So it doesn't matter. And that's what I learned over time is like I was saying earlier in the stream, the market's unsubscribing as we speak, you dirty dog. Get out of here, Mark Dutch. The market's just, it's like the Titanic going towards an iceberg. You can shift it slightly, but we're still hitting the iceberg. It's just how much damage gets done. So get your life raft. That's Bitcoin, guys. I'm ending with that. Your life raft's Bitcoin. What's your options? Gold, I guess. Maybe that was a better option.
Thanks, chat, for pulling up today. That's been a 90-minute stream. Hope you guys really appreciate it. We'll be back again, same time tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time daily, and 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time if you're over this side of the world. If you're up in the Netherlands, dude, it is late for you, so you should probably go to bed. Thanks for hanging with us. Thanks, Craig. Great conversation today. As I said, we've been doing this for 2+ years. So sub to the channel, follow us, Market Makes on Twitter. That's where you can catch our clips as well. Highly recommend it. We'll be back again live tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.